Hello, this is Scott Baceno, editor of telecoms.com here at Network X 2024. And I'm delighted to be speaking to Sylvain Coitier from Equinox. That's my best French pronunciation.
It's good, Scott.
It's good enough.
No mistake, fine. Yes, effectively, I'm acting as the CMO for Equinox.
Right. Oh, well, so why don't we start, Sylvain, by you just telling us a little bit about Equinox for people who might not be familiar with your company.
Sure. So Equinox is a network vendor, European-based. And we have three main activities as a vendor. We do technologies for layer one of networks, so optical transport, WDM, OTN. So with that, we help telcos to build their own infrastructure to cover an area. We have a strong specialties in metro WDM. And second activities is and more in the B2B business. So we do the system to connect any enterprise site to the networks. So starting with the routers. And then the third activity is about software. You know, we have a lot of value to bring on that routers. Software like everything around software defined, so SD-WAN, cybersecurity, edge computing. That's what we can bring.
So I've got I just want to sort of drill down into some of the areas of what you do,
Sure.
perhaps putting it into context of specific use case or commercial environments. One is like bridging the digital divide, specifically rural broadband. Can you talk a little bit about your activities in that area?
Effectively, that's it's a very important activity for us. Rural broadband is everywhere, especially North America, but as well in some countries in Europe. Where we help mid-sized service providers to organize their infrastructures into a region, can be even a city if you take the US. And we have exactly the technology they need. And also the proximity is very important when a service provider is investing to develop his own infrastructure to have a strong relationship with the vendor. It's what we can offer, flexibility, proximity, and the right technology for them to create their future business in the land they have defined.
Okay, and then second one is in the area of SD-WAN.
Oh, yeah.
I gather that you've been talking a little about SD-WAN and SMBs. Can you just elaborate on that a little bit?
SD-WAN and SASE, cybersecurity, all of that is a bit mixed. You know, for years now, we have such technologies mainly for large corporates. And SMBs now have also the need of such technologies that will help them to be very agile on their networks and to be well protected. You have to know that more than half of cybersecurity attacks in the world are on SMBs. At the same time, SMBs, they don't have skills, they don't have teams, they don't have people to protect themselves. And they count for 70% of them on their telcos to help them to secure the networks. So the combination of SD-WAN, firewall, cybersecurity, things we do, it's exactly our sweet spot because we work with telcos to bring that to SMBs.
So that sets up the final thing I wanted to ask you about, which is service providers.
Sure.
Specifically when it comes to edge computing. Can you tell me a little bit more about your activities in that area?
Yeah, so you have edge everywhere. The very important thing is to understand which edge we are talking about.
Right.
At Equinox, we are specialized on the branch edge. So really, you know, what happens on the endpoint, you know, on the enterprise side. And our strategy here is, you know, the pain for telcos is to have an engineer or technician guys going on site, installing this box and switch on the networks. It's costly, expensive. But once you've done that with Equinox, then you have here a system that you can monetize more and more. And all our technology here is to say, okay, you start with the routers, with data, voice, SD-WAN, cybersecurity, and more recently, we have integrated the technology to bring even more services directly here. So it's what we call edge computing, or it's morphing more to AI, I have to say currently. Yeah. The idea is to bring more value from that point, looking at the data that you have, you know, with all that data, you can learn a lot of things and then automate some things that were before that very manual task. So here, we perceive edge computing morphing into AI technologies, and we are partnering with many vendors on AI side to bring that to telcos and resell to the enterprise market.
Okay, that will make sense. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Scott.